Hey everyone, this is Mike from the Relating Revolution. How are you today? Nice to see you all. Please say hello in the comments. Please drop a thumbs up if you would like a free video about the Relating Revolution. It's a free class that I offered that I'd love to share with you if you want it, so drop a thumbs up in the comments. Joey, I got yours coming to you. I needed to do some video editing, so thanks for requesting that. I will get that to you soon. So I also want to mention that if you do not feel comfortable commenting on my posts, which is sometimes the case for some of the things that I talk about, you're welcome to always write me a private message that will be considered with humility and kindness. So love you all. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today I'm going to, on day 2, thank you to Juliana Garcia, and I have her prompts here. She created this 30-day Expose Your Truth challenge that I'm doing. And so today I'm on day 2 of that. And the topic is, and the first question is what are some of the beliefs or approaches that you see in your industry that you don't necessarily agree with, right? And so, as some of you know, I've been a therapist for years, a licensed marriage and family therapist, and there are things about that industry or that field that I don't agree with. And the number one thing that I don't agree with is that it does not recognize the principle of neuroscience called sprouting and pruning. And when sprouting and pruning means that whatever you focus on will grow, for better or for worse. And whatever you do not focus on will be pruned. It will sprout if you focus on it. It will prune if you do not focus on it. And therapy is often focused on the problem, fixing the problem, figuring out the problem, understanding the problem, where did the problem come from, not wanting to have the problem, get rid of the problem. But what that is doing is sprouting the neural networks associated with that problem. If I'm going, I don't want to be anxious, I don't want to be anxious, I don't want to be anxious, even though I'm saying I don't want it, I'm still activating the neural network that is responsible for my thinking, feeling, and acting in ways that are anxious. So that is what I think is wrong with the therapy field. It is often problem saturated, although there are movements in positive psychology and solution focused therapy that are quite wonderful and quite effective. So now, what do I think about that's wrong with the coaching industry? Because now I'm no longer really practicing as a psychotherapist, even though I still maintain that license and that training and have thousands of hours of clinical experience. I'm now practicing as a coach, but I resisted that for a long time, if I'm going to expose the truth on that, because I frankly thought coaches were a joke. I thought it was new agey. I thought it was wanky. I thought it was, like a bunch of people that took weekend workshops and frankly, there is some of that in the industry, right? But I've also had the great pleasure in the last few months of meeting some incredibly competent professionals that are coaches and some really, really outstanding human beings that are really good at what they do, have done a lot of study, have had a lot of training. And so I've learned to kind of reserve some of my criticism and my judgment on that, and I've actually become a coach myself. So I do happen to think that there is a really wonderful balance in the best of both worlds of having a coach's no bullshit, kind of positive, solution-focused, method-based approach with thousands of hours of clinical experience and really sitting with a lot of people that have been through very difficult things, on top of the fact that I practice what I preach and I've lived what I do with other people. I haven't just studied this stuff. I've also, by necessity, had to transform my own experience of depression, anxiety, ADHD, trauma, addiction, etc., into a life of joy, openness, love, kindness, and awareness, and into a life of meaning and purpose and contribution to something greater than myself. So that's kind of like the transformation on some of these limiting beliefs. And really the overall message is that what I've really kind of learned through humility and frankly through a lot of lumps and bruises is just like, it's not worth it to be critical. There's a lot of beautiful stuff out there. There's a lot of beautiful people out there. People are doing the best they can with what they've got, and err to the side of being kind, really. and err to the side of like, of saying, I don't really know, maybe there's one fantastic therapist out there and there's crappy therapists out there. There's fantastic coaches out there and there's crappy coaches out there. But really, it's not for me to say or judge. And like, and I'm just going to assume, I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt that if it works for you, I'm super happy for you. That's wonderful. And I'm going to err to the side of kindness and try to, be a little bit less critical and a little bit less harsh about my interpretation of the world, and be a little bit more willing to not know, because if I'm right about everything, if I think I know better than everyone else or everything else, then guess what? I'm really just a fundamentalist, because that's really what fundamentalism is. And you don't need to be a complete right-wing radical Christian or a Islamic terrorist to be a fundamentalist. You can be a fundamentalist is whenever you think that you have the one true way, whenever we think we have the one true way or know the one truth or the one path, or, that's really what fundamentalism is. And that's the root of aggression. It's the root of violence. It's the root of separation. So the more I'm willing to not know, just to kind of consider, like, I really genuinely wish the best for others. And I hope that what you're doing works for you and what you find in life is exactly what you need. And, whether it's therapy, whether it's coaching, whether it's a combination of a therapist coach, then it's all beautiful if it works for you. And nothing's sacred really but results. Does it work? Then it's awesome. And that's really what my coaching experience is about, is finding over the last 20 plus years the things that really work. And I don't care where they come from, I'll learn from anywhere and everything, inside the box, outside the box, science-based, spirit-based, law of attraction-based, grounded, practical, just day-to-day common sense and hygiene-based, nutrition, exercise, optimal performance, flow states, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, anything that works is what I want to incorporate and cultivate in my own life and share with others. And hopefully it makes the world a better place, one person at a time, one couple at a time. And I do want to remind everyone that we are starting the next Relating Revolution Marriage Transformation cohort. Starts at the end, actually the week after Valentine's Day. So that is super exciting because this is something that is really, really showing to be beneficial in people's lives. It is an approach that is very much not typical. I guarantee it's nothing like you've ever heard before or seen before or tried before in couples counseling. I know because I've been a couples counselor for years and I've studied and practiced within that field and had many peers in that field and have seen many people basically be like, yeah, it doesn't really work. Effective communication, it can only do so much. If you're not able to change the chemistry of love and trust in your nervous system so that you actually have the embodied experience of love and trust. And that's what we're learning in the group is like, how do I kind of hack into my own brain, into my own hormones, into my own chemistry so that I actually can embody the experience of joy, connection, love, and trust in my marriage relationship. You don't have to be technically married. As long as it's a committed partnership, you are welcome. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Drop a hello in the comments, whether you're watching the replay or not. Tell me with a thumbs up if you want to see a free class about that Relating Revolution, and I'd be happy to provide that for you. Love you all. Have a beautiful day.